sinking, basically as a sinking ano. Kaso nag-oppose po during the EIA, social acceptability. So hindi po yun natuloy. That was supposed to be in 1997, the biggest project of then President Ramos, which is about 47 billion. I don't know how much it will be now. But generally, Mr. President, although I agree na we could, in the short term, maibsan po, pero I think there has to be a more permanent and structured solution. Is one, do we accept it that it has to be a lake because of its geological features? Second, but of course, magagalit po yung DA, but at the same time, at least yung Nabwa, from my view, can be salvaged, but Baao definitely has already structurally be converted into a reservoir and serve other economic purposes, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we support the abolition of the road board. In fact, I'm one of the principal authors. We support your move. Yung study lang po, yung sinasabi po ni Yusek Payabot, as of 2003 po, sir, meron na pong study about the Bicol River Basin water resource development, sir. All we need to do is update. Kasi sir, talagang kahit konting ulan, mismo yung national highway po dito, konting ulan po nagbabaha. Then Camarines Sur po is 6 in rice production. Pero despite na nagbabaha, can you imagine po sir kung hindi na magbabaha dito, baka number 2, number 3 po kami. So konting ulan po sir, baha ang kalye, apektado ang farmers, tapos yung livelihood ng mga tao po. So sana po ma-resolve under your administration yung problem sa basin po sir.
Kausapin ko si Senate President, pati si Speaker, pati kayo. Wala akong objection kung tanggalin. Tatanggalin ko talaga yan. It cannot remain there as putang inang corruption dyan. Ilagay ko DPWH or what, payag ako unahin kayo dito. You'll have the first. So, yung first project, kasi tayo man nag-usap dito, I'll commit to you that the very first projects that will be undertaken under that fund, if it's transferred to a DPWH or sa agriculture, okay ako. We'll start with tayo mga sobra-sobra na lang because Agusan is really a marshland. Actually, marshland ang Agusan, so mahirap. It has to evolve into something like, but that would depend on the inroads of civilization. It's actually a marshland, or ano bang sa Bisaya yan? Pagatpatan, swamp. Pagatpatan sa Bisaya. Mahirap yan. I've been there, I've been hunting in that place. Medyo, unahin na muna natin yung para sa mga gwapong tao sa Pilipinas, mga Bicolano. Tayo ni Joy. Sige, apayag ako, totoo. We will work together, convince Congress. Wala naman silang magawa talaga niya. Ayaw ko talaga. Baskisan niya lagay. I will not release any single centavo there. Nanginayang ako. But if it can put to good use, kagaya ng perennial ninyo dito, paano ninyo kunin niya tubig dyan? Matagal pa yan. Unless you pray for a dry spell of about half the year. So, okay ako dyan. Unahin muna ang Bicol. With that money, I will give you my commitment that you'll be the first. Yes. Kunin talaga natin yung pera na. I will get it, put it somewhere else para maano sa tao. And, ma'am, how about the disturbance of the school ng mga bata?
Mr. President, I only have 4 very short points. One is the cost of the damage to facilities brought about by Usman. Ang tentative estimate is about 237 million, excluding the damaged computers, which is quite tragic because we already started our projects of delivering new computers, equipment, textbooks, and furniture. Buildings lang yan, 237 million for the entire region. And I noticed that the mention was made of more than 100 casualties. Sa aming count, 32 of them were learners, so that's nearly a third. Learners, children, because when these tragedies happen at night, usually the children are the most helpless. Now, the second point I'd like to emphasize, Mr. President, is that right now our quick response fund is 2 billion. And we estimate already that with Ompong and the other earlier disasters, maubos na yung 2 billion na yan, plus Usman. So after Usman, we probably will already have exhausted available funds for quick response. Also, another response on the side of DepEd is that we plan, together with the SWD, to hold a special Brigada Eskwela. Kasi every year we have Brigada Eskwela for the entire year, wherein the entire community, parents, teachers, various groups help out in cleaning the schools, giving supplies, painting, and so on and so forth. Now, we are considering for Region 5 a special Brigada Eskwela. The way we did it, Mr. President, for Marawi, you had a special Brigada Eskwela for Marawi. A third, Mr. President, is we have been watching the pattern of the damage caused by natural disasters. And traditionally, these were caused by strong typhoons and strong winds. Kaya ang aming standard for school buildings is kailangan 350 kilometer wind velocity. But now we notice that a tropical depression can unleash and trigger tragedies and destruction of even greater magnitude. And this is because of floods and landslides. And this is what most of us in government or agencies are not prepared for, the flooding and the landslides. We are prepared for the winds, we are prepared for the heat, and so on, because we plan for it. Pero ngayon, a building feature now of disasters is the smallest depression already triggers floods and landslides, as in the case of Sagnay. Kasi it's not even a storm, Mr. President, pero baha na. So right now, ang aming concern is fixing our buildings, etc. But if you want to respond to this rising challenge of floods and landslides, we have to consider slope protection for schools which are, at the foot of hills or on top of the hills, higher elevations of schools, and even transfer of school sites from hazardous sites, which before were very safe, dry and so on, but are now submerged in water. And so this would require bigger amounts of investment, not only for us in the Department of Education, but for all public facilities and even private facilities. We have to recognize that the floods and the landslides are now joining the winds and so on, and the earthquakes. Now, DepEd has only funds for site titling. So, finally, Mr. President, since we are in education, we always ask, what are the lessons that we can learn from this recent experience? One is that we cannot be business as usual in the usual preparation for typhoons, na yung wind and so on, yung communication, etc. We have to include already flooding and landslides because nawi-weaken na yung ating geological atmosphere. And this requires, of course, huge budgetary outlays. And so we are suggesting that it should be considered as part of the budget process that we consider the accelerating damage, which are already irreversible. So every year we have more and more damages, which we have to prepare for. So my financial requirements yan. And finally, Mr. President, I always say finally, Mr. President, our immediate response of government is we give into their immediate needs, like the food packs, the clothes, etc., building materials. And after the storm, then we prepare for the next round of disasters again. So perhaps it would be good also to mobilize the entire country and not look only to government to be providing the food packs and the building materials, but mobilize the public sector, the private sector, the schools, the organization in an organized manner. Hindi ito makakaya ng government at the rate that destructions are escalating. The extent of the damage has been escalating so much that government may not necessarily have the sustained funds to catch up with the worsening situation in climate change. So siguro kasama dito is really mobilization of the public, the citizenry. We in education are doing our part by educating our children, but the various organizations, they have to, give their services for, technical assistance in the dams, the flood control. Bicol River Basin Development Authority, panahon pa ni Marcos yan, created precisely to control floods. That's how many decades ago, nearly as old as I am. So perhaps if we mobilize the entire country, this is not a responsibility of government alone. This is our responsibility, and we all have to help out. And it's not only giving, which is very important, the food packs and everything, but preparing for even much more threatening natural disasters. Mr. President, thank you very much.
Two things in my response. One would be questions sa pag-asa, sir. The changing, not really, but the radical changes in today's climate, weather. There seems to be a lot of precipitation everywhere. So we'll have to deal with, about a little over 7-10 years ago. Itong mga landslides nito, I've been a government worker for so long. Hindi naman masyado ito na but now we have multiple landslide everywhere. So gusto kong malaman, I do not have the answer as yet, kung bakit maraming landslide palagi ngayon. And noon, wala namang yung mga eskwelahan, yung sa baba ng slopes. But now, there seems to be a loosening of the soil everywhere. And as it is wont to happen, it is really a multiple thing for us. We were viewing the roadside kanina. Karaming, landslide talaga. You have to work your way before you can restore the mobility of the community. Second po, may I ask, I am ignorant about it. Bakit ho maraming tubig sa Kiboy o kay Pagasa? Si Mr. Pati Solidom. Solidom, because you predict the weather. Predict it somewhere else. And
good afternoon, sir. Yung first question, why are we noticing many landslides now? Obviously, with global warming, we are experiencing more rain. Unfortunately, it's not rain that triggers landslide as well. We are also developing many areas. We are constructing roads. If you notice, many of the landslides in the Bicol area are along road cuts. And unfortunately, many houses were built on road easements and also on the lower end of the roads. So with the development, we also have to make sure that we employ slow protection sa drainages po ng ating ginagawang kalsada so that this will not be the site of future landslides. So merong risk of development if we don't really do these things properly. Now, why was the rainfall so high in the area? First of all, a tropical depression is the lowest category of tropical cyclone in terms of wind speed. However, it also moves very slow. Parang, kumbaga, hindi maka-move on yan ng mabilis. So it brings a lot of water, and because it moves very slowly, it dumps a lot of rain in the area. Unfortunately, when Usman came closer to Visayas, it moved very slowly, parang nag-park siya. 28, 29 na lang siya naglandfall. So, in addition of the forecast moderate to heavy rainfall, nadagdagan palalo yung ulan kasi hindi siya umusad. And that is why, Mr. President, dumami po yung ulan. The rain was essentially, 2 days of rain was almost equivalent to the whole month of December historical rainfall in Bicol. If the tropical cyclone would have moved faster, then the rainfall in the Bicol area might not be very high, but still, it's still way above the threshold of triggering landslide po and flood. So yun po yung cause. But going back to the frequency of landslides, it's a combination of many factors. One is the changing climate, plus the fact that yung mga soil with time nagiging weathered, mas erodible. Yung mga dinaanan po from Tiwi to Sagnay ay easily erodible material. And unfortunately, doon po karamihan sa mga kalsada nagsimula yung mga landslide. So isa rin pong dapat concern ng government is to make sure that the roads that we develop would have ample slope protection. Second, also drainage. And third, ibawal yung mga nagbabahay sa tabi ng mga kalsada at sa baba noon. Yun po, Mr. President.
But you can say that climate has something really to do with
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of
Yes, sir.
moisture up. No, it's either a consequence or a causal.
It's one of the trigger po yung trigger yun. And but again, if the rain becomes more extreme, the probability of having more landslide increases. So because of global warming po. So we really have to make sure that we don't focus only on the typhoon signal, which refers to the wind strength, pero kailangan din po na madalas balitaan natin kahit hindi na malakas yung ulan, marami pa rin tubig na babagsak. That's why, i-explain ko lang din po yung pag-asa advisories po, no? Nagbibigay ang pag-asa ng 24-hour forecast. Sasabihin nila light o moderate to heavy rains. Pero pag na-record na ng pag-asa na heavy na yung pag-ulan, sinasabi na nila, nag-i-issue po sila ng heavy rainfall warning. Yun po yung yellow, orange, red. Ito po yung nowcasting. Ito yung nangyayari. So kapag hindi pa umaalis yung mga tao, dahil sa forecast na moderate to heavy, dapat may action na sila pag sinabing yellow, orange, or red. Kasi mas dyan na talaga nangyayari yung heavy pong ulan. So, sa DOST side po, we will have to make sure that we have to emphasize this. We also wanted to engage MGB in the press briefings of DOST, that they will be part of really announcing the areas every time there's a press briefing. So combination po talaga ng extreme weather, but so that's why we have extreme actions to also do to cope up with the changing condition po.
But ang problema kasi nito, boy, is we've been sending so many people. That's why I fired also so many people for attending climate change dito, South Africa, Tokyo, Canada, Ottawa. 21 travel, sabi ko, climate change, and we are at the losing end of the shit. Sige pa rin patay, sige pa rin collapse. So, I better help ourselves than listen to those idiots there in Europe. I have come across General Halad's position paper. Yung ginawa mo na nabasa ko. I have plans of making his department, his agency, a regular department, solely to meet the challenges of itong ano. Wala, so kanya lahat yan. Para kanya na ang ano, iyo na lahat. Pati pagpigil sa bagyo. Putang inang yan. Dala ka ng blower doon ano mo? Buisit itong bagyo. Alam mo, dapat yung mga bagyo, huwag ninyong pangalanan ng mga Usman. Si Randy Usman, Maranaw yan eh. He's my brother in the Maranao side. Mga Usman, antindi niya. Mga Bernadette, ganon. Leonora. Mga si Lenny, ano ba para no, we should not take her name in vain. She's pero nakita ko yung ano mo, paki-kompleto na lang noon. General Halad has been there very much. Ano mo, kung ano daw, tingnan mo kung, and I will ask Vidaldia to, and
Sir,
I am not, my fellow Filipinos, especially the Bicolanos, I know that you are a forgiving tribe, but let me just abuse your time. I brought along my 3 candidates for senator. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na Joy, ganito yan, Joy. Pag matalo yan sila, may 3 years pa ako. Kailangan ninyo ang perma ko sa release. Nasa inyo yan. Kasi pwede naman tayong magkaibigan. Pwede naman tayong walang imikan. I've been used to it. Go, Joy. We were together in the 11th Congress.
May pangako po ako sa 3 yan, sir. 3 lang yan. Si
Kasi ikaw noon, nung puro left tayo, huwag na lang natin taguan. Kami yung mag-left, nagpurma. So, we voted for one candidate. Not really left na komunista, but yung gusto namin kasi yung hindi traditional, so we talk with Joy and everybody. So, sabi ko, nadala ako sa drama mo, baka madala ko rin ka sa drama ko. Ang lahat naman dito, pwede naman kayo magpunta ng Malacanang, pahingi-hingi. Lalo na yung 46 billion na yan. Kung wala kayo, sigurado. It will remain a lagoon for you to swim. Hindi na kayo magpunta ng dagat. Wala kang dagat. Pero I'd like to ask Bato to stand up. Let me abuse government time. Ano lang naman eh. Alam mo ito si Bato talaga. I was a prosecutor before. Piskal lang ako. But when he graduated sa PMA, he was assigned in Davao. And later on, he married. Ninong ako nito. And I said, I cannot use any other word except to say that he is really fundamentally honest. Totoo yan. For all the many hinihingi nila, binibigay ko talaga sa kanya because may produkto eh. Pag may kidnapping ganon, tapos ibigay mo, sabi ko, sabihin mo, oh, putang ina, wag mong dalhin sa akin yan buhay, ha? Patay talaga yan. Patay na kidnapper, wala mang ibang solusyon yung mga animal na yan. Pati droga. So, Bato was really, not because of his friendship or liaison with me, but because he is really patriotic. At marami itong dinaan during the Sparrow days na marami kaming kasama na namatay dyan sa Davao. But he survived. And he would like to, I'm endorsing him, Senator. Pati kailangan yun. Nakita naman ninyo. I'm not trying really to derogate anybody. May mga military naman dyan. Nakita mo naman ang ginawa. Was there any legislation of significance? Wala. Puro pambaboy ng tao. Sabi ko, bigyan naman ninyo ng Mindanao. He's a military man. He's good. Galing PMA yan. And I said, what I like about But more than that, after this election, I would be there still for 3 years. So, kung hindi tayo magkaintindihan dito, bahala kayo. Another one, ang hindi ko talaga na basi kayo. Alam mo si Francis Tolentino? Alam mo kasi ito, I knew him since he was Vice Mayor. Nagmumotor kami noon, Tagaytay. Sa motor kami nagkakilala. Matter of fact, we toured the entire country, the length and breadth of the Philippines. Nakamotor lang. Francis, walang hangin ito. Abogado. Ako, hindi naman ako. Tingnan mo yung pinaparada nila na mga kandidato. You think that they would really be contributing something to the country? You keep on electing and re-electing only to say na hindi ko man hindi ko forte. You aspire for a position and mean you are there, a sacred one at that. You just belittle it by the way. Hindi ko man feel yan. Kasi ito si Francis was mayor. Kung ninyo, mas isa, ipagpalit ninyo dyan sa mga... Ako, I do not want to mention. But look guys, ang Pilipino talaga, showbiz eh. Now, lagyan ninyo ng mga tao na, for after all, we are in a thick, the ship of state of the Republic of the Philippines is sailing on rough waters. I am not saying that there is a storm, but unless we get through with this BOL and what would be the reaction of Ms. Wari, sabihin niya is left behind is something which I have to work overtime. Pero ito medyo okay na sa atin. Ang talagang medyo matigas na nakikita ko na wala talagang pag-asa, ito si Season. And dito sa Bicol, malakas ang NPA. Yan na lang talaga ang ano dito. Wala tayong magkuha dyan sa NPA. Baski na sabihin nila walang coalition, but they want to join yung mga economic bodies natin, kaya na NEDA, itong Department of Trade. Mahirap yan. Even when si Tigualo was in, pati si Mariano, kung hindi ko hininto yung occupy ng gago, gusto ko ngang kausapin yung... Well, he was there, a cabinet member at that. He was egging people na, sige, mag-ano ka, okupasyon. If there is a vacant lot, sige, you. Kaya I was forced to come up, sabi ko, do not do that because I will order the law enforcement to arrest you, and if you fight, to shoot you dead. Yan lang ang pantakot talaga. Hindi pantakot. Yan talaga ang gawin mo. Anso pagsabi na matay, putang ina. Sinabi ko na sa yung wag ninyong gawin. Tapos si Tigualo, yung pangtawid, doon nakikita sa kampo ng mga NPA yung mga envelopes. Okay man yan. Wala akong problema. Total, mahirap rin itong mga gagawin to eh. Ang problema lang nito, they do not know what is really the real score and what is the impact of the insurgency sa kanilang buhay. Wala mga, they were so Season. Tapos maniwala sila ng utak na Season na. Pero sabi ko sa inyo, I pray that if there's going to be a talk, really talk, I don't know what will happen, and if it can happen at all. Mas mahirap kausapin ito si Halandone, pati si Agkawili. Si Agkawili, sinahaluan ng mga legal-legal dyan. Sabi ko, wala. They came here, they wanted to talk to me. Sabi ko, ano? Yung mga legal-legal na yan. You come, cut cleanly. You adapt the democracy that we find ourselves in. Yung pangatlo, hindi to si Bong go, he is only go because his father is Chinese. But ang mother nito, tesoro to. Ugali ng mga taga-Davao na Batanggenyo, may magago rin talaga. No. Kaya galit rin ito sa NPA kasi yung lolo niya, si Ogos, mason yun. Maglaro ng golf sa Davao, binira sa Bunganga. Nandoon ko ba noon? Bakit ka matakot? Left ka man. Kuya yung negotiator ko. Ito si Bebot, left talaga to. Bula-bula pa tayo. You know, when partido was formed right after EDSA, sumali kami dalawa. Talagang amin is, we fight this in a Republican form of struggle. Nung nandoon na kami sa partido, after a few days of, pumasok na itong mga hardcore, yung mga, sabi ko kay Bebot, sabi ko, Bot, hindi ako pwede na. I cannot be fighting the Filipinos by armed struggle. Papatay ako ng kapwa ko Pilipino dyan. Sumibat ako. Sumibat talaga ako. Sabi ko, hindi ko kaya yan. Ngayon, hindi na kami magkaintindihan eh. Pero, I'd like you to know that we are keeping the fire burning and hindi mo pwedeng sirahan eh. You cannot afford to lose all channels of communication. Mag-iwan ka talaga maski maliit. Mag-iwan ka maski maliit. So meron yan, sabi ko, sige, basta walang coalition and no yung malalaking undersecretary siguro, o director, total na, pwede mo yan. But not money. Mahirap. So yan ang istorya natin. Si rin, tatlo sila. Si Bato. Sabi ko kasi Bato na sumama ka na ngayon para and also, you know, the military ways. You protect also the sector that you know best to handle. Mga military, kinakaya-kaya mo na. Pinagsisigaw-sigawan ba? Kung pumayag na gano'n. State your case plainly, truthfully, respectfully. So, ma'am, yung iyo, I was listening to you. Yung mo, we will take it up with there's a cabinet meeting coming up in a few days. I-connect ko kayong dala because he has a good plan. And of course, with your input, tapos kay Edel Rosario, siya may-ari ng NHA. Mabilis ang ating. Yes, sir. Boy.
Sir, that we will have to complete the installation of manned synoptic stations in all provinces. So, mga 20 provinces pa po ang wala. So, we will complete that. And I would like to echo a suggestion coming from one of our mayors, Mayor Padilla here of Panganiban. He said that maybe we should include the transistor radios in the emergency kit of people kasi kung minsan pag nawala ng signal, mahalaga po yung mga transistor radios for dissemination.
Ito, critical messages that cannot be conveyed anymore sa tama yan. Marami ngayong Yes,
DTI, boss.
Secretary Lopez.
Just to complete the report, at least sa atin po, we have monitored before and right after the tropical depression, yung supply ng mga produkto. At saka yung please to report na very stable. May dalawa kami nakita na violation out of the 50 kasi ang ginawa ko natin, all municipalities that were affected. Meron tayong mga checklist na monitor ng mga tindahan dito sa municipality. So, making use of our business counselors in the negosyo center. We have many of those per municipalities now. And aside from generally stable, may na-discover na dalawa, pero oras no kinorek yun, they immediately, yung mga stores na yun, immediately brought back yung presyo na 1 peso higher than the SRP. Even by 1 peso, kinokorek natin. And they basically brought it back. These were found in Iriga City and Pulangi. No? So now we can say na lahat po ay stable prices. Of course, sinunod din natin ngayon yung since declared ang calamity, naka-price freeze po dito sa mga probinsya na nabanggit, Cam Sur, Cam Norte, Albay, and Sorsogon. Okay.
And then we are, doon sa nangangailangan, we are ready to bring in the Diskwento Caravan. Ito yung mga special stores kung saan yung basic commodities na mas mura pa sa SRP can be provided. Para meron sources at walang shortage, importante may mabibilin ang ating mga kababayan na naapektuhan. Kung pwede ho ako mag-digress dun sa usapan on the long-term solution, ang baka ho makatulong din yung pag-consider nung review ng mga land zoning sa mga lugar. Kung meron ng mga safe na lugar na alam nating safe, yung mga next project should be located there, whether residential, commercial, the roads. There are places na pagka ni-review yung land zoning po and part of the land use plan, will give us a direction where to build the future. And dun sa mga alam nating delikado, hazardous at malalalim and catch basin, obviously we should not build the future there. And in fact, there should be a purposive relocation already para hindi na intayin yung disaster and sakuna, because we are a country na talagang inaapektuhan at dinadaanan talaga ng mga bagyo. So hindi every year po yon. So talagang really have to plan for the future and strict implementation at the local government level. Kung bawal sa lugar na yun, bawal dapat talaga. Hindi dapat talaga mag-allow ng mag-build up ng community, one house, naging two houses, naging community na, at pagkatapos mahirap ng malipat. So yun lang po ang input natin doon.
Anybody would like to say something before we go? Governor Bichara.
We have acquired lands already for settlement, relocation. And we're still acquiring. But we can also do the site development. But our problem is the houses. And I was informed that the NHA doesn't have enough funds. It was slashed down. So do we have funds for this purpose, for housing?
Well, si Eder Rosario, when he was appointed, right after yung sa Marawi, tinawag ko siya because there was a lot of matrix in front of me and it was convoluted. And it really encourages, one, corruption, second is indolence kasi maraming committee. Nawag ko si Ed, he was with the Defense Department at the time. I appointed him Undersecretary. Sabi ko, tawagin mo si De Rosario. So, kilala ko to siya, sir, kasi naging task force dapat. Sabi ko na, maghanap ako ng pera, build me something like, ilan na ba nagawa mo ngayon, Ed? Ang bahay? Marawi lang. Okay, ganito ang ano ko. Basta, there's a fund that we're trying to sinisilip natin. If it can be freed and transferred to another department, for good use, I said, I will ask Ed to initiate some mga houses dito sa napili mo na lugar which you think are safe. Maybe I'll give you 300 houses. Okay na siguro yan?
For Albay, how about Camarines Sur? Kasi mag-relocate din sila eh.
Siguro. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Siguro pwede po natin simulan dito sa Barangay Patitiknan where 30 people died the past few days. The province has already located a provincially owned lot, 25 hectares. 552 households po ang buong Barangay Patitiknan, and based on MGB, the whole barangay is landslide prone. So pwede po ilipat ng province 25 hectares kung may pangtapat na pambuild ng houses na disaster resilient?
Once I said we get that money, I have made my objections. And the House, salamat naman sa inyo, agreed with me. And the Senate also wanted it, so wala tayong problema. Ang akin lang, if they would listen to my appeal that we use part of the money for the pressing problems of Bicol. It's about 46 billion. Tama-tama lang kung walang sapangan dyan, pagbigyan natin yung iba. I'm ready to spend the money to improve the topography of the place and make it safe for people to build houses. Or really just get out of those mountainous thing, especially if there's a mine being operated behind. Mahirap yan. But you can always call on General Simato. Pag sinabi niya, sira-sira yan. And you should congratulate General Anyo, General Simato, and Secretary Bernadette for the Bucara-Boracay. Hindi sa Boracay raw, kung maligo ka, hindi lang malinis, maging gwapo ka daw pagka, no? So, believe ako. So, as a last, may I hear from my classmate, Judge Clavicilia. Brad ko to, classmate ko pa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our office, the Office of the Presidential Assistant for Bicol, at the outset of Typhoon Usman, we were able to mobilize the different governmental agencies, national in scope, including the DSWD as our lead agency, the Department of Public Works and Highways, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Health, NEDA, and the ILG. On our part, Mr. President, we utilize or mobilize these agencies for the simple reason that they have the funding and the manpower. And I'm very happy to report to you, Mr. President, the cooperation and support given by these agencies to your administration. So all these concerned agencies have reported to their central offices, and we have already heard their explanations, their presentations, and I'm happy that you gave our region, the Bicol region, the priority insofar as the misuse of the road board is concerned. Kailangan po namin talaga ang funding because marami pong na siraan pong bahay. And when the four municipalities in Rinconada, Buhi, Iriga, Nabwa, and Baaw, andoon po ang mga government agencies na nag-respond kaagad. And I'm very appreciative of the support given by Director Arnel Garcia, who is the president of the Regional Directors Association of Bicol, for their utmost support and cooperation. Sana po may their tribe increase. Thank you, Mr. President.
Alam mo, classmate, ganito, I think I appointed you as presidential assistant for Bicol. Good, because the last time there was a disaster here, there was a calamity, and I needed somebody as a point man who supervised and who gave me the information from time to time was Attorney Tolentino. Si Francis.
Yes, yes.
He stayed here for about 2 months, I think, just to oversee all of those things. Now, alam mo kasi, I'll give you the stuff that you want.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. We have not yet approved our budget.
Yeah, I know. You just wait. I will give it to you, but yung trabaho niya, yun na ang trabaho mo.
I will
Because
that.
maano ito next election time, and God forbid if there's anything else that I have to take care, so ikaw yun. So tayo na ang magtawagan.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Ilan ang gusto mong stop? 20 beautiful women? You know, the reason why I give you the priority in the project is that you have a very beautiful vice president here. Lenny, oh. Tell her that she's really beautiful. So, kung wala na, we will fly out because I have late dinner. Yes, sir. May I help you?
Good sound test. Good evening, Mr. President. Just like what Governor Bizzaro said and Governor El Rey, the province of Sorsogon is also appealing for housing units. We already acquired sites as relocation sites, and we need housing units, Mr. President.
Those sites will be developed by you or by the NHA who would come in to construct the houses?
We will develop, Mr. President, the site.
Okay. That's clear. Sige. Everything all right? Joy? Wala na. You still have a critique to follow? No more?
Is there a critique?
Di na daw eh. Sir, yung trader namin sa Birak, huwag kayong magagalit. Mas konti sana namatay kung nandun yun. Doppler radar. Hindi namin ma-access kasi hindi ka makakaasa sa satellite. Kasi satellite hindi spatially correspondent dun sa actual conditions. Pangalawa, sir, yung natin, kasi lilitaw lulubog yung red, yellow, orange. Kaya kung pwede po, for the day, at least good for 1 day man lang yung rainfall warning natin. Hindi po pwede yun na nililift nyo after 2 to 3 hours. So kung if you have at least a more long-term rainfall forecast, absent any major visible event like a TECF, an LPA or a TD or anything, then there is no basis for household to make a decision with respect to their safety. The only thing that they can depend on is a science-based, DOST issued, hindi nga long-term, kahit 1 day man lang, sir, tumagal. Kasi nga, yun na nangyari. Kasi lulubog, lilitaw yung yellow, orange, green, yellow, orange, red ninyo eh. Kaya, anyway, so yun lang, Mr. President, kasi they have the Doppler radar, we cannot access it. And of course, lulubog, lilitaw po yung rainfall warning ho natin.
Thank you po, Governor, Congressman Salceda. Actually po, ang BSAT natin na nagbibigay po ng road data sa Legazpi at pwedeng i-access ng APSIMO ni Cedric ay nasa back na po at kasi forbidding po yung BSAT na connectivity na yun po. So nasa back na po yun at pinapangako po namin na within February po ay ano na po yan, ma-access na po natin yan dahil wala po kami magawa sa bidding process po. Sa government po kami, hindi po namin talaga So, but the radar is working.
So, nang yung problema nyo, bidding?
Ongoing po yung bidding process sa BSAT. At pinapangako po namin na ipapastrak po namin dahil ang radar po ay gumagana, ang press data lang po ng binibigay ng BSAT, yun lang po nagkaroon ng pero ginawa po namin ng paraan, tiniturn namin ito JPEG, binibigay po namin through internet at na-access naman po sa Legazpi and then naibabato po sa Manila po.
Thank you, Mr. President, for coming. It's very inspiring to all
Thank you
Bicolanos.
for your questions also. Yes, sir. May I help you?
Governor Talyado po. Sir, sa Camarines Norte po, itong napakalakas pong bangin ito, malaki rin po ang damage sa amin. More or less po 1.4 billion ang damage po sa amin. Ang malaki po rito yung mga infrastructure. So, ang Camarines Norte po, ito rin ay sa mga prone sa landslide. Kasi po, ang namatay po namin sa landslide is 12. Dalawa po sa baha. So, ganoon din po, yung ibang mga governor narinig ko po, yung problema rin yung may lote rin po kami na pwedeng paglagyan po ng housing project. So, sana po matulungan po ang Camarines Norte para makapagtayo kami ng mga housing project sa mga doon po sa dapat mga i-relocate. Then isa pa po, meron kami isang river doon, napakalaking river, na catch basin po din ito. Pag umulan po sa Camarines Sur, doon po ang baksak sa amin, sa Quezon Province po. Pag umulan po doon, sa amin po ang baksak. So kailangan din po ito ma-dredge. Kasi po yung bahay ko din po ay kami rin po ay, yung bahay ko rin po ay isa rin sa mga biktima. Kasi po, dalawang sasakyan ko po, lumubog. Ganun po kalaki ang tubig sa Camarines Norte. Thank you, sir.
Ito naman siguro, we got the knowledge we want to hear from you, so the wherewithal where to come. Basta ang pangako ko, once that road tax money is freed, you will be the first recipients projects dito. Yun, kasi kayo yung tinatamaan palagi. Ano bang kasalanan mo? You must be leading a sinful life. God damn it, Clavizilia. Let's go home.
Pag 1, 2, 3 sila, may bonus po
Well,
Pag 1, 2, 3 sila.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And that ends our situation briefing. May we request everyone to please remain seated until the President is about to leave the hall. Thank you. Again, may we request everyone to please remain seated.